And I forget to do this sometimes. It's not because I'm ungrateful, but that lead-up song, our new lead-up song that's been going on for about a couple of weeks now, is brought to you by one of our longtime listeners and supporters of the program, Johnny Johns. Didn't call you Jimmy Johns this time. Didn't call you a sandwich, brother. I ate supper before I came on here, so maybe that's why I got it right. But Johnny Johns and his band, Next Halen, the best damn Van Halen cover band of all time. Now, today, we're going to come in here and we're going to talk a little college football news. I haven't been on here in a while. So, we're going to talk a little Oklahoma news I saw. I saw a little interview with Brent Venables that I'm going to play a few snippets of, maybe about the first 7 minutes and 45 seconds. And if you want to see the full interview with him and Josh Pate, head over to Josh Pate's college football channel. It's a pretty good channel. Go check it out. It's a full interview with him and Brent Venables. We're going to talk about con time. That's right, old con time, Deion Sanders. I ain't got my con time shades over here, do I? Let's see if I got my con time shades over here so I can sift or actually hide the bullshit that come forth from his very mouth. You got to wear those con time shades. That's why he does that, so nobody can see his beady little lion-ass eyes. But old Con Time's done signed a big-time contract with the Colorado Buffaloes. They signed to a big 5-year deal. Got an interesting twist on his buyout that I'll go over in just a second. We also got some Alabama football news in the quarterback room there at Alabama, as few other nuggets. Oklahoma news, as usual. This is more a college football Crimson Nation kind of channel. We got a story about 3 Oklahoma Sooners that have been showing out in practice, as well as a freshman that has stood out, the best freshman coming in that has stood out to most people in Oklahoma circles. By the way, Oklahoma, I thought y'all dominated in softball. Y'all lost a series for the first time, and I don't know, God knows when. I know y'all never lost a series in the Big 12, but y'all lost y'all lost 2 out of 3 to Tennessee in softball? Damn. Y'all slipping, ain't you? SEC is a lot tougher conference than the Big 12, as people can see now. But Oklahoma will straighten it out. They'll still be pretty good. They're still 31-3, so don't fret, Oklahoma softball fans. You will recover, and you will go on to contend for the national championship, and most likely, maybe even 5-peat. But let's go ahead and see who we got in the house tonight. We got Fred Bagley in the house. He was the first batter up. Batter up. He's the first batter up. Fred Bagley. Kevron Harris, our consummate Clemson Tiger, is in our house. If you got any Clemson Tiger information that you ever want to share with me, Kevron, I do every team on here, Kevron. Hit me up on Twitter, a.k.a. X, at OCF Productions. Hit me up in DMs on there or on Facebook under Jesse Paul Clark. That's spelled Jesse without an I. There's been a lot of argument going on here lately, Kevron, about who is the real Death Valley, LSU or Clemson. And if Clemson ends up coming into the SEC by 2030, like some people think, maybe y'all need to have a game, have a bet. Whoever wins between LSU and Clemson gets to claim they're the real Death Valley. We also have, as you can see, there's Kevron. I get him to come up. There he is, Kevron. Deion Sanders is a con man. I'm glad someone finally agrees with me there. A lot of people get pissed off at me when I call him the con man, but he's a con man. He's con Colorado. Had one little good season, 9-4. Sort of reminds me of when they jumped the gun and had a knee-jerk asinine reaction back in the day when Alabama gave Mike Shula an extension after a 10-win season. At Alabama, that should be expected. You shouldn't get an extension for winning 10 games at Alabama. And Contime won 9 games at Colorado. They act like that's never been done before. They won 10 games back in 2016. I think Colorado may jump the gun, and they may end up paying for this in the long run because we don't know how good Contime is without his sons and without Travis Hunter. Big Orange is in the house. What's up, Outlaw? How you been, brother? Been doing well. And I just mentioned your volunteers. They didn't put Oklahoma in their place in softball. Ain't nobody ever been able to do that in a long, long time. It's been a long time since Oklahoma softball lost a series in conference play, and Tennessee put it on them. Sean James is in the house. He's got his badge. He's deputized, just like Fred Bagley. They're both deputized. They got their badges in the Outlaw Posse. It's a little something extra that you can get if you don't want to like. If you want to do more than just like, share, comment, subscribe, you want to do a little something extra, you can hit that join button. Join the Outlaw Posse. It's $2.99 a month, just 75 cents a week. That's just a half a bottle of water for the Outlaw. You get a badge. You get deputized. You get a random Four Horsemen shout out, which I'm about to do one, as well as possibly the comment of the day on the actual podcast. Sean James says, come on now. It's the OU girls are young. Yeah, they're all young nowadays, brother. With the transfer portal, nobody really gets to keep any. You lose freshmen and sophomores like you lose seniors now. I mean, when you become a sophomore, you're gone. It's gone, man. I mean, if you keep a player until they're a junior or senior, you're getting really lucky. Comanche Sooners in the house. What's up, JPC and Outlaw Posse? Boomer and Roll Tide Roll. All right, let's go ahead and bring this up real quick. I'm gonna get to the Oklahoma news in just a second, and the Brent Venables interview with Josh Pate. I know a lot of y'all come in here for that tonight. Let's see what we got here. All right, little con time action here. Make sure I got the right one up for y'all. There it is. All right. Deion Sanders' new Colorado contract comes with an interesting twist. It says Deion Sanders' efforts in rebuilding the Buffaloes has paid off in a big way, as Sanders is now the fourth highest paid college football coach after signing a 5-year, $54 million extension on Friday. And there was rumors that they weren't able to pay his other contracts. So how are they paying this? Sanders' $10.8 million per year salary sits only behind the three current head coaches with at least one national championship, including Clemson's Dabo Swinney with $11.1 million, Ohio State's Ryan Day, or as we like to call him in here, Ohio Stank, paying Ryan Day $12.5 million, and Georgia's Kirby Smart is the highest paid college football coach at $13.2 million. It's clear that Colorado witnessed enough improvement in the second year under Sanders to keep him in Boulder through 2029. The Buffaloes won 4 games in 2023 before doing a reversal and jumping to 9-4. It was the best finish for the program since a 10-win season in 2016, which I just mentioned. But he has a new interesting twist in the terms of the buyout, it says here. According to the document, Sanders will owe $12 million. It keeps doing that shit. There we go. According to the document, Sanders will owe $12 million to Colorado within 60 days if he leaves for another job before January the 1st. So, $12 million out of his pocket from the get if he tries to leave before January 1st of next year. Excuse me. The number drops to $10 million the next year before dropping to $6 million, $4 million, and $3 million each year after, respectively, leading to the final year of his contract in 2029. So, what do y'all think about that? What do you think about Colorado blowing their absolute wad on con-time Deion Sanders, and he has yet to prove that he can win without his sons or Travis Hunter? He had his sons and Travis Hunter at Jackson State, and he had them at Colorado. So can he win without these three that came just because of who Deion was? Deion's not getting that pass now, but although I did hear he did get a nice little recruit. I think he got a 4 or 5-star quarterback. I can't remember the dude's name right off the bat. If anybody knows who his name is, drop it in the comment section. Also, if you want me to read your comments out, we got a bunch of people in here already. We got about 15 or 20 people already in here early on. There's a little money dollar sign at the bottom. If you want to make a small donation to the program, help keep the lights on, smash that little money dollar sign at the bottom, write your comment out, then hit send so you get your money's worth. And I'll read your comment out above everybody else's. So what do y'all think, man? I think Colorado might jump the gun. I know he went 9-4 last year. It was better than I thought he would do. I must admit, I thought he wouldn't probably win more than 7 or 8 games last year. A little bit higher than I imagined Deion doing. But he did have a pretty weak schedule, too, compared to the schedule he had the year before that. But last year, the Pac-12 was a murderer's row schedule for Colorado. Coming into the Big 12, they gave him a pretty easy pass. Sort of reminds me of another team that come into the SEC that got an easy pass. Like, I don't know, not naming any names, but the Long Turds. Fred Begley says, con time makes them money. He is the Jerry Jones of college football. That's true. I can't argue that. For some reason, I don't know what it is, people gravitate to his jackass. I don't know. I guess some people like jackasses. Maybe some people are jackasses, and jackasses want to be around jackasses. I don't know, Fred. I don't know why. I don't know. I don't understand the allurement of con time Deion Sanders, but to each his own, I reckon. All right. Now let's go to some Alabama news real quick, and then we'll do the interview with Brett Venables. Not that I'm interviewing him, although I would like to. All right. Let me make sure I got that pulled up right for y'all. There it is. In the Alabama quarterback one competition, Ty Simpson is creating space, is what it says here. But before I do all that, I would like to give our 4 horsemen shout-outs of the show. The 4 horsemen shout-outs are as follows. If I can get the right paper here. Let me stop this screen for a second so y'all can see me name them off. The 4 horsemen shout-outs go to Shane Moore, That Christian Fam Channel, Storm 4601, and Billy Townsend. Mount up, saddle up, ready to go. They're going to help us with today's college football live stream invasion. Now, let's go back to the article that I brought up for y'all, for the Alabama folks in here. And if you want to talk about any Tennessee or Clemson stuff, Kevron and Big Orange, just shoot it in the comments there, and I'll be glad to answer any question or elaborate on any topic concerning Tennessee and Clemson, because I am a college football connoisseur, and I love all things that are college football. It says a few weeks ago, former Alabama quarterback Greg McElroy, who, by the way, is a sellout, stated that a gap existed between Ty Simpson and Alabama's 2 other scholarship quarterbacks. GMAC's observation is being seconded by Alabama insiders as word has seeped out about spring scrimmage practices for all 3 quarterbacks. The gap is real, and Simpson maintains it. Don't look to Kalen DeBoer, Ryan Grubb, Nick Sheridan, or any other football person employed by the university to confirm it, but you should expect him to be named the quarterback in August. The recent chatter is that Simpson was outstanding in the spring's first scrimmage, throwing 3 touchdowns in the 50 plays given the first-team offense. 3 touchdowns, that's pretty good in 50 plays. A rumor circulated from a scrimmage practice claimed Austin Mack had a rough day, and there was a known depth chart that Mack would currently be quarterback 3 behind the freshman right here, Keelan Russell. May well be the Crimson Tide's future, but he and Mack are teenagers. Mack will turn 19, and Russell is 18 in April. Simpson is 22 and turned 23 just before the 2025 season is complete. Ryan Williams was tremendous as a teenager last season, but he is far from the norm, especially at the quarterback position. So, yeah, don't expect Keelan Russell to overtake Ty Simpson. This is sort of a situation that we saw play out with Bryce Young and Mac Jones. Everybody thought Mac Jones was just a placeholder, that after 3 or 4 games, if he didn't do very well, Bryce Young would come in, take his spot, and the Bryce Young era would begin. That never happened. Bryce Young sat on the bench and learned and got his feet wet and wasn't just shoved to the fire, and ended up being a great situation for Alabama. Mac Jones won a national championship. Bryce Young won an SEC championship. So, sometimes these young quarterbacks need to not be so impatient. They need to come in, sit on the bench, learn a little bit about the system, get your feet wet, don't get thrown to the fire, let an upperclassman like Ty Simpson, who's been around the system for a while, take the reins for 1 year, get your learning curve in, and then come in and be an exceptional, much more exceptional quarterback like Bryce Young was. That's my opinion on all that. What do y'all think about that? Y'all think that freshmen should be, for the most part, set the bench, learn the curve, get that learning curve under them before they get out there and get thrown to the fire? You have extenuating circumstances sometimes, like Johnny Manziel, but those don't happen very often. To me, sometimes it stunts a quarterback's growth, it kills their confidence when they have to come in a situation as a freshman and they're not ready for the speed of the game, which is a lot faster than high school football. Just like when you go from college to the NFL, speed amps up even more. There's a learning curve. And I think that it's always best for a freshman, no matter how good he is, to set that first year, unless, like I said, some extenuating circumstances are just that damn good, they're generational talent, and the guy in front of them absolutely sucks, which Mac Jones didn't. And I don't think Ty Simpson is either. If at all possible, Fred Bagley says, if at all possible, red shirt. Exactly. And that's why I think Ty Simpson should be the starter. A lot of these freshmen now don't want a red shirt. They feel like they're not going to get noticed enough. They're not going to get the NIL money. They're not going to get noticed by future NFL agents, something like that. But to me, I agree with you. I think they should red shirt them. Austin Mack would be the starting quarterback if Ty Simpson were to get hurt at that point. Back in the day, before I was ever born, I think back in the 60s, as late as the 1960s, they used to redshirt freshmen automatically. Fred, you probably remember this. You're a little bit older than me. But freshmen used to not be allowed to play at all, ever, no matter how good they were. They had to come in and set a year. Now, let's get to this Brent Venables interview. He done a pretty nice little interview with. He done a nice little interview with Josh Pate, and I wanted to hit on that for a second. And we all got Killer Breeze's information. Go ahead and hit him up for me real quick. I'm busy trying to do this right now. Or Johnny Johns. Let's see what we got here. All right. There it is. I'm going to sort of interject off and on. I'm going to play probably the first 7 minutes or so of it. I'm going to interject in between that. I'm not going to play 7 minutes straight. But this is a pretty nice little interview. A lot of stuff that Brent Venables says and does in this interview just makes you want Brent Venables to succeed. You want to see the guy succeed. You want to see him get over. You want him to be a success. Maybe not at your team's expense, but success to the point where he gets to keep his job.
I heard you talk the other day in a press conference setting, I think it was, about job pressure.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I punched the steering wheel when you talked about it because, someone brought up this specific year. And there's a lot of expectation. You've made staff changes. You must be feeling a lot of pressure. And you basically shared your life philosophy. You basically shared your professional philosophy of, well, I felt that way every day when I've walked into the office forever. And the way you metaphorically put it is, I just pretend like someone's holding my head down underwater every day. Yeah. And I got to fight to get air. And then you said something I love. You said, you may think that's coach speak, but that's not. That's the way I really feel.
Yeah.
Have you always been that way? And then secondly, how does that almost make it easier when you enter a year where the outside world thinks, oh, you got a lot of pressure on you because you're just kind of used to it?
Yeah. What a great question. But I've always felt that that's a lifestyle, that mindset. It's just a lifestyle. I'm very comfortable in that space. And on the flip side, if you're doing life, if you're chasing passion, things that you love, if you're comfortable doing it, then you're probably doing it wrong. And so where's that balance? It's really hard. The challenges of winning and being successful, but something I've never shied away from. I've just looked it right dead in the eyeball and have gone right at it head first, not flinching. Again, got clear vision on the things that it takes to be successful and the things that I'm in control of. And there's so many components that you're not in control of. And so not getting distracted, not letting things that, again, I can't control affect you in any way, shape, or form, and be committed to doing things, living your life in a certain type of way. And so you got to run right towards all the suffering that help shape you and develop you. That's where you learn the most, not through, successes of life or the big wins in, your career. It comes from, the failure and the tough moments and the challenges and the hurdles that you got to climb through and over. And, but got clear vision. And again, very comfortable in that space.
You ever
Stop that for just a second. But Josh Pate nailed it from the get-go. He said that what Brent Venables said about he's always got the mindset of I'm underwater and I'm fighting to get to the top of the water. That's a great analogy and one of the best ones I've ever heard. Josh Pate, have you impressed Josh Pate to the point where he's slamming his hand on his steering wheel driving down the road? You're doing something right. And just from the way Brent Venables talks and the way he holds himself and the way he's constantly got that genuine smile about him, about certain things and smiling at the right time, unlike somebody named Kamala Harris who cackles about purple frogs humping giraffes. But, not to get off topic here, but it's just the way he holds himself and the things he says, the analogies that comes out of Brent Venables' mouth are all usually pretty genuine and unique and stuff that you really never heard worded in such a way. Wouldn't y'all agree? Sean James says plane crash was in 70. Rule change for freshmen would have been in 71. Well, that's when I was born, brother. All right, back to the interview here.
You ever think about the way you view the inside of the football bubble, being a head coach, being a defensive coordinator, whatever the case may be, and how aggressive and alpha and on the edge of the cliff this existence is compared to the outside world where you could probably mail it in on Tuesday and your job's still going to be there Wednesday. Yeah. And so it's the way of thinking makes sense logically, but yet it's not relatable for a lot of people because it's not fourth and goal every day in many people's normal walks of life, but yet you haven't been in a normal walk of life for a long, long, long time. Right. And so when you're talking to, I say normal person respectfully, but someone who is working a normal, comfortable job and a normal, comfortable existence, I guess it's probably not hard to understand why that's not relatable to some people.
Yeah, no, it's a fourth and one mentality. The way you live your life is fourth and one. I think honestly, it comes from gratitude and gratefulness for the opportunities that I have had through relationships, hard work, resiliency, growing up in a very dysfunctional home life. And so having an appreciation for someday. And so when I got my opportunity, I was, a crawl on at Kansas State, just finding a hole in the fence. And I got in.
There he goes again with some great analogies. Obviously, you had a rough upbringing from what he's alluding to. And so he just fought for that one day. That one day, the opportunity to, make his way, the hole in the fence at Kansas State, of all places. Back in the day, people don't realize this, Kansas State was the losingest program of all time before Bill Snyder took over in the 90s. They won, on average, 2 or 3 games a year. They were the losingest program on all levels, not just Division I, but Division, what was called back in Division I AA is called FCS now. The losingest program on Division I AA, Division I, Division III, NAIA, and he walked on at probably at the time, what was thought to be one of the worst programs in the history of college football winning percentage-wise. So the guy's had to fight. He's had to fight for everything he's got, which makes me once again want to say that it makes you, if you're a normal person and somebody that has a moral compass, you want to see this guy do well. You want to see him get over. I do have to critique him sometimes, as do a lot of Oklahoma podcasters out there and people in the media, because, you know, if someone's doing something wrong or they're not doing something right, you have to be honest with everybody. So I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm never going to criticize Brent Venables again, just because I'm giving him all these compliments. But I will say that I really do want to see him succeed. So anybody out there that thinks I've been hating on him, I haven't been. I just want the man to succeed. What's y'all's take on that so far? Pretty good interview so far, don't you think? All right, let's go back to it.
Side, man, I looked at things from a perspective standpoint, from a different lens. I believe that, and I'm not the only one, but that's a very unique lens, as you said, that has always become, has always been a part of, my way of thinking, my way of chasing things that I've desired, and doesn't mean you can't have fun in any way, shape, or form. You're having fun doing it, even when it's really hard. I mean, you just smile and you look right at it. When things get really hot on game day, man, it gets really quiet for me.
It gets really quiet for him. You know what they say? The quiet is where the toughness is. That's the ones you got to worry about, is the ones that are waiting on the quiet.
Said something there. I don't want to gloss over what you just said. You said when it gets really hot, things get really quiet. And so you're talking about high leverage, high pressure moments, probably the moments that people will remember the most. If I'm even watching a highlight of a game, those moments, the 3rd and 9 or whatever, 4th and 6, you're talking about that moment, and you're talking about blocking out the noise, which again would be labeled as coach speak, except for the fact that it's integral to, functioning at a high level. How, if you were giving me advice and I came to you and said, Coach, I'm really struggling blocking that stuff out. Well, you're sitting here claiming to me you do. So what's your advice to me? How do you do that?
Everything gets easier when you stop expecting it to be easy. And I think a lot of people are.
Another good one. Another zinger from Brent Venables. Good stuff. Good stuff so far.
Afraid of those hard things because it's really hard, the demands of it. And but when you look at it from that lens, I just think that, okay, you have this confidence and reassurance and purpose and focus that you're not focus on the difficulties that you're facing.
When you were
he almost said a cuss word.
Or looking down the road for a long time at the prospect of being a head coach, and then you finally got in the chair, how much did you find in that chair that you could never have envisioned or you could never simulate until you're actually a head coach?
Well, I mean, this might sound disingenuous, but it's exactly what I thought. And I've always marveled.
It's exactly what he thought. A lot of coaches won't tell you that. They won't come out and say that because they want to look like they respect the head coaching position. But he's not disrespecting. He's just saying he got exactly what he expected, which means to me that to him, the job's not too big for him going forward. And like I said, numerous hundreds of thousands of times, he come into a situation that a lot of head coaches don't have to deal with. The NIL and transfer portal were just getting started. The ability to just rip somebody's team away from them as a leaving coach was there for the first time ever. And Brent Venables had to deal with that in his first ever job at a blue blood program. Yeah. Like I said, I feel bad sometimes when I criticize him because he had to come in and deal with a lot more than most first-year coaches ever had to deal with in the past 130 years of college football.
That, the head coaches that I've worked alongside with, how they've handled all of it. And I've paid very close attention. I was focused in my lane over here, but I always showed up, to the workplace environment like the head coach's success was reliant on what I did that day, and knowing that all the things that certainly that they have in front of them, and you know, and the responsibilities that I could take off of, you know, their plate, and where they don't have to worry about me. But the depth of the demands every day, it never stops. You're never off. You're literally on that treadmill at 10 and 10, and that's a lifestyle too. You're busy in every role, you know, on a staff in college football as we see it now. It's a little more complicated today than it was probably, you know, 25, 30 years ago.
25, 30 minutes ago.
Yeah, right. That's good. No.
That's good. But that's pretty funny, Josh. Even Brent Venables had to pause and say, that's pretty funny. Yeah. It's ever changing, not just every 25, 35 years. It's changing every 25, 35 minutes nowadays.
Oh, it is. Many things are the same, and there's several more things that you have to deal with. But it's exactly what I thought. And many of the reasons that I like, okay, life is simple, quote unquote, for me over here. And, but I also knew that when you're at the right place, a place that you love and you're passionate about, and there's a great alignment in the leadership, and you have, you know, resources, and maybe even a place that has a history of being successful, you know, that's what I waited for too. And so when the opportunity came, I jumped all over it.
You
And that was the interview with Brent Venables and Josh Pate. Just thought I'd share a little bit of that with y'all. But the first 7 minutes and 45 seconds. There's 54 more minutes. We watched 7:45, so there's about 47 more minutes of that over on Josh Pate's channel. So go over there and check him out. He's a real good podcaster, and I like a lot of his stuff. Some of the stuff I don't always agree with, but nobody always agrees on everything. All right. Russ Neese is in the house. He says, hey, Outlaw, was just in Smith Lake, Alabama. Beautiful place, beautiful state. Roll Sooner and Boomer Tide. That's right. Crimson Nations rule, brother. Crimson Nations rule. You know, I've never been to Smith Lake. It's pretty close to me. It's probably about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. I think it's an hour and a half, though. I think it's about an hour and 30 minutes, hour and 45 minutes from Tuscaloosa. So I've been meaning to go to Smith Lake, but I'm not the biggest fishing guy and hunting guy in the world anymore. So there's no really reason for me to go up there unless I want to get into some water sports, which I don't do that either. I'm more mainly just football and basketball, and that's just about it as far as sports go. I don't ski or do none of that stuff. Got the best screen name in the house. Turd Ferguson is in the house. So he's laughing about something. What you laughing about, Turd? Gotta love BV. He busted his ass, says Fred Backley, who has his badge. As I said before, he is deputized. He's in the outlaw posse. Now I'm going to bring up another article for y'all, unless y'all want to talk about something else. If we got anybody else in here that wants to talk about any topic, just drop it in the comment section. If I can't see your comment or you want your comment pushed to the top, there's a little money dollar sign at the bottom. Click on it. Write your comment out. It'll highlight it and push to the top, and I'll answer your question above everybody else's. Terry Ferguson says he was laughing about Brent about cussing Boomer Sooner. Yeah, he got a little tongue tied on the F word there. You almost said it by accident because it sounded similar to whatever he was saying. I can't remember exactly what F word he was trying to say, but he almost said the wordy word. Turd. Wordy word, turd. That rhymes. Damn, I should bring up my rap song. You ever heard my rap song? About the USC Skittle Shitters? Y'all want me to bring that up for y'all? I can if you want me to. Just say it. Just say the word. Just say when. Just say it, and I'll play my one-hit wonder. It's called Skittle Shitters Beware. It's a rap song. Y'all want to hear my rap song about the Skittle Shitters? I'll pull it up for y'all. Let me see if I can't find it for y'all real quick. We'll play it real quick. Maybe I won't get demonetized from my own shit because it's on my old channel. See? Yeah, it's on my old channel, Mr. Mexelplitzkin. It used to be called JPC Sports, and I ended up getting a lot of trouble over there because I used to say some stuff that got me in trouble, like I do over here from time to time, but not as bad. All right, let's see if we can play this real quick for y'all. All right, I got it pulled up. Y'all ready for it? Here we go. This is my old rap song. This is an oldie but goodie, brought to you by yours truly, JPC. This is Lincoln Riley versus the Oklahoma Sooners rap song. Skittle shitters beware. One hit wonder. I can get it on there, do it. Let me get back there. Let me start it over for y'all. I didn't pull it up right. It's my bad. Let me pull it up for y'all real quick. Probably gonna get a stupid ass commercial on there again. All right. Can y'all see it? I got it pulled up for y'all. Going live is something else sometimes. The home of the common Joe and the common Sally in the know, even more so than all those media talking heads. This is an OCF production in conjunction with Prestige Worldwide. Here's a little story I got to tell about three Skittle shitters you know so well. Riley, Grinch, and Caleb too. They all smell like monkeys playing in their poo in the zoo. Playing in their poo. They got on a plane and they went to L.A. because they thought they were going to bring back the Cheap Pete days. Cheap Pete. What they didn't realize is Callie's done. Homeless by choice, shitting in the streets, hanging out at a trashy beach. Canteen games because they're beating their meat. Sleeping all day on the trashy beach. Beating their meat. Fight on is their motto, but we haven't seen that in a while. They just lost to UCLA by a freaking mile. 62. 33. 62-33. For all the Skittle shitters out in LA, the OCF is going to make you pay. Don't lose your noodle and wet your diapers. Karma is a bitch, and I'm here to decipher. KMCA to all in LA. To the end of this song, that's all I got to say about that. About that. About that. About that. OCF is out. Class is now dismissed. Woo! This has been an Outlaws production. Now, can you feel me? Shizzle for nizzle. You can't see me. Psst. Psst. Over here. One more thing before I let y'all go. Look up underneath this video. You'll see the like, the share, and the download options. Right next to it is that heart option that says thanks. If you don't mind, drop a few dollars in there. That way I don't have to depend on. And that, my friends, was the one-hit wonder that they call the rap song for Lincoln Riley versus the Skittle shitters in L.A. What y'all think about that? All right, let's bring y'all up some more Oklahoma news I found, since mainly Oklahoma people in here. Like I said, if you're another fan base in here and you want to pose a question to me or bring up a topic about another team, I'm all ears, and I'll even elaborate on it with you. So let's go ahead and bring this up real quick. All right. Here we go. They asked Kendall Doby. This is from A&Z Sports. It's a good little website. Go check them out. They asked Kendall Doby what freshman is standing out in practice, and he said Michael Fasasi. I don't know if I'm saying his last name right, but they said Michael Fasasi. He works hard. You can just tell these young guys, those freshmen who don't have freshman mindset, and you know it's okay. I would say it's okay to come in and kind of be like a freshman, like it's okay, you know, and you learn the ropes. Then there's those guys, some like, man, I'm going to take somebody's job. Like to me, I'm not a young guy. I'm not a freshman. He grinds hard. I like the way he works. I love to see it. That's special to me to bring the best out of everybody. So just a lot of those things, the guys come in demanding excellence from older guys and vice versa. It's a great thing. Speaking of Michael Fasasi, Fasasi is a guy that could very well need that from 2025. I'm not sure he will start right off the bat, but as a 5-star, I wouldn't rule him out as starting at some point this season. He has the body and size for it and has put on weight required by the coaching staff, and he certainly has the skill set. So, it says as soon as we're lucky to land the best offensive lineman in the country, now he has to go out there and show why he's the best, and the Sooners seem to think that he will do just that. So, Michael Fasasi is turning heads in practice. I guess he's an offensive lineman. So that's a good thing for John Mateer. He's got somebody in there that can actually block for him, right? Exactly. What do y'all think about that? Fasasi. Fasasi, says Fred Bagley. It's Michael Fasasi, says Fred Bagley. Michael Fasasi. Man, he sounds like he should be playing for the Nagasaki Egg Rolls or the Japanese American Football League. Fred, it's like some sushi. Michael Fasasi. All right. See what else we got here for y'all. Before I get up out of here, I want to share something else for y'all. Another positive note here. The 3 freshmen that have been showing out, according to A&Z Sports, is wide receiver. And once again, I may butcher this name, Fred, so you may have to give me another lesson in pronunciation. Isaiah Satigna? How you say his last name? Isaiah Satigna was relatively quiet pickup for the Sooners when he first committed to Oklahoma back in December as one of 4 different transfer receivers. However, he's been anything but quiet in spring, making several big plays throughout practice. He and quarterback John Mateer have already developed a nice rapport together, taking advantage of Deion Burks missing some time early to snag his reps in this slot. With Burks back healthy, though, the staff and new coordinator Ben Arbuckle have made a priority to work Satigna. I don't know how to say his last. Y'all got all these weird last name people on your team, Fred. Satigna and Burks on the field together. This likely means plenty of 0, 0, 0, 1, and 10 personnel sets with multiple wide receivers on the field. Talk about explosiveness. Tight end Will Huggins was a puzzling pickup when the Sooners announced him as a part of their class. Huggins has emerged as a potential go-to for John Mateer at a position that desperately needs answers. So let me stop here for a second. Why would it be a puzzling pickup, A&Z Sports, if it's a position that desperately needed to be answered? It's not puzzling. It's stupid for you to say that because Oklahoma needed a good tight end. So there's no puzzling about it. They desperately needed it. So I don't know why they said it was puzzling. Huggins' massive 6'6" frame is a boon in the red zone, and he could likely be the team's tight end 1 next season. People forget that Huggins was a priority for Arbuckle when he was at Washington State. Clearly, he saw something in his film at Pittsburgh State that intrigued him and could be paying off for Oklahoma as well. The other standout in practice was wide receiver Elijah Thomas. He says, the writer says, I didn't originally mean for this to be entirely focused on offense, but Elijah Thomas has been such a standout performer that it's hard to leave him off. The 4-star freshman has seen plenty of time with the 1s and 2s this season, and his ability has stood out on film. One source likened his instant impact as a freshman to what C.D. Lamb was doing for the Sooners back in 2017. While that is an obviously lofty comparison, you think? They comparing the boy to C.D. Lamb, an NFL wide receiver. It speaks volumes regarding how well Thomas is playing. Thomas is an elite athlete, which makes him a potential standout in a room that needs a boost in athleticism after a disappointing 2024 season. So those were the 3 standouts in practice, according to A&Z Sports. It was Isaiah Satigna. I can't say his last name, man. Tight end Will Huggins and wide receiver Elijah Thomas. Satania. You said it's Satania. Satania? The one the hell's there a G in there? I get tired of all these silent letters and shit, man. It's just like, who come up with the idea of spelling pharmacy with a P and an H? Really? It looks like pharmacy. I never have understood the silent letter bullshit that the English language came up with back in, I don't know, whenever it was, back when they were humping on the Mayflower coming over to Plymouth Rock. I don't know when they come up with these silent letters. But anyway, I'm getting off on a tangent. So, what else y'all got for me today? I'll bring up another little article for y'all right now that you might think is interesting. It's actually about the Stanford Cardinal, which usually is is a team that none of us really have any interest in, but something interesting did happen at Stanford. And I'll bring that up for y'all real quick. All right. Stanford hires Frank Reich as their interim head coach for 2025. Weird time to hire a coach. What happened was their coach got fired for harassing some women on the athletic staffs at Stanford. You know, Frank Reich was a quarterback for the Buffalo Bills. I think they went to the Super Bowl 1 year under Frank Reich when maybe old boy was injured, Jim Kelly. Says Stanford has hired veteran NFL coach Frank Reich as the school's interim football coach. Both sides have agreed it will only be a one-season deal. Scanning on down here, the unique responsibility to mentor the best student athletes in the world to be the absolute best is what they aspire to do. Is an opportunity I will fully embrace, Reich said. Their coach, Taylor, was fired last week amid findings by 2 outside firms that he had bullied and belittled female athletic staffers and sought to have an NCAA compliance officer removed after she warned him of rules violations and repeatedly made inappropriate comments to another woman about her appearance. Stanford is also promoting tight ends coach Nate Byham to offensive coordinator, according to ESPN, and will call plays for the Cardinal, which have gone 3-9 in 4 consecutive seasons. Reich's hires another significant move for Stanford football general manager Andrew Luck. Didn't know Andrew Luck was the general manager of Stanford now. Andrew Luck would probably been one of the best quarterbacks of all time had he not got injured. Andrew Luck is believed to be the only collegiate general manager to have full control of the team's coaching staff. Luck is a former Stanford and NFL quarterback and was hired in November in an effort to turn around the program at his alma mater, which hasn't had a winning season since 2020. Reich is 63. He coached Luck during Luck's final season in 2018 and has a strong relationship with him. And the reason I brought that up is because, you know, harassing women on the job and bullying people is unacceptable. I do agree. But nowadays, especially out there in California, the liberal shit-style institutions that they got out there like Stanford, you can't even joke with people. You can't even tell an off-color slightly funny sexual joke around certain women, they're all up in their feelings, man. Lighten up, people. Dude probably told a joke about something and I don't know. I don't actually know what happened. He may have been a complete and utter dick. I don't know. I mean, he did kick an NCAA compliance officer off the campus for telling him he was violating rules. So in this instance, it was probably called for, and he probably was harassing them. My gut feeling tells me he probably deserved to be fired, and he probably was harassing. I'm just saying that sometimes there was time he made inappropriate comments, and it's so vague and widespread that you don't know exactly what it was. It could have been something really, really bad. And then it could just been something like he was telling a joke about a monkey playing with his ding dong in the zoo or something. And she got offended. He may not have been telling the joke to her. He might have been telling it to a buddy and she overheard him. I've seen that happen in the workplace many times where guys are just telling each other jokes off the side. Some woman that is just being a complete bitch overhears it and then takes it to HR and tries to get them fired, even though they weren't telling her the joke. They were talking amongst themselves off to the side somewhere. They just happened over here. Another tangent. Well, all right, I just want to jump in here real quick today and holler at y'all and see what y'all are up to and give y'all a little something to talk about to get us through to the college football season starts, which is still a ways away. Get our college football fix every once in a while. I might start doing these every Monday. But yeah, if you want to join the Outlaw Posse, get your badge like Fred Bagley and others that are in here tonight with their badge. Sean James is in the house also. Sean James says Oklahoma got absolutely gutted that first year of the portal and nobody gave a rip. But the very next year, people were crying when it started happening to them, says Sean James. That is absolutely 150% correct, Sean. That's probably the comment of the day. But if you want to get your badge like Sean and Fred, it's $2.99 a month, 75 cents a week. So a little join button over by the subscribe button. And if you don't want to do that, you can do the Big Four. They're all absolutely free. Like, share, comment, and subscribe to Big Four. They're all absolutely free. Also, smash that like button for me, too, before you get out of here. It'll push the algorithm and get this out to more people. KMCA to all the other teams. Class is now officially dismissed.